Okay, I've just finished wiring everything up. It took a while. So you probably know I've got the instruments in there now. So the autopilot's now permanent. You'll see another video where I've tested that. But I really just wanted to show you the electronics aboard. Be quiet, Jeremy. So you may hear in a minute the bilge pump come on. It comes on once every 5 minutes. What I've done, I've built a split supply on this, so if I lift the hatch up, I'll just show you that. Must wait. I'll just wait that hatch, I reckon. Right, so I'll get down in the engine room a bit, or engine bay. So I've reused the windscreen that came off the original boat. No, it's dear stuff, that perspex or that acrylic. But you can see that's done that a treat, hasn't it? So I've 3D printed some blocks on there. There's my auxiliary battery. Now the auxiliary battery is charged by one of these magic little devices here. I'll open up the hatch. Can you see him there with 13.2 on? So what that does is that controls, it'll charge that battery on its own if the engine's running, and I've got a battery charger on the big battery at the moment, so that's why that's on. But what happens is if there's a current draw from that end, the other battery doesn't see it. In other words, it's isolating that battery apart from charging it. Now the reason that you would want to do that is because when you turn the starter motor on and you've only got one battery, what's going to happen, you're going to cause a big voltage drop and all your electronics are going to, well, zero out. They're just not going to work. There comes the bilge pump, the auto bilge pump. So you can see none of the instruments really affected by that. You can see the sounder has got that on it, but that's because it's not in the water. So you can see no collapse of instruments, which is great. And all of the autopilot control gear now in place. A lot neater than it was. Just reminded me I've got to screw the C-Tog bus in. I forgot to do that. So we've got a big fuse, 30 amp fuse, individual fuses under there. Let's see if we can get a better view from underneath. Individual fuses for the autopilot. I can't really see what I'm looking at here, but there's the inside of my electronics. There's the hydraulic pump. There's the auxiliary battery. And you can see I've 3D printed kind of a frame that bolts to the wall so that can't go sliding across the hatchway there, and I've still got that compartment there for the flares and the first aid kit. Try to stand up again. So rather pleased with that. See, the wiring's all quite neat, all accessible, that's the main thing. So when the engine's back in there, I can service all of that through this hatch here, and if need be, laying on my back, coming into that other hatch the other side. So that kind of device, that charge controller, that's the sort of thing that you'd find in a camper van, and it just means that you can have two independent batteries but still charge them from the same alternator. That's the idea behind that. Very simple to wire up. And what that now means is all of this is independent, so I won't get any undervoltage crashes. And from experience, if you get an undervoltage crash, what can happen is you can damage the circuitry inside the electronic device. It goes through here, through the bank of switches, so I can turn each one of these off individually. So that was the navs, so turn the light off, look. Music's independent fusing, VHF. Pumps are still on the main battery. And finally, because the autopilot is potentially a bit power hungry, the autopilot is the last thing to come off, and I've just got an isolator there, and that's job done. Okay, so getting somewhere now.